morning, good morning. You are listening to Church Without Walls, studio of the New Orleans Talk Network. We come to you every Monday morning, 11 to 12 Central Standard Time. We're certainly happy to come into your home, or you may be driving, or you may be watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. But we're certainly happy to come and share with you what we learned yesterday behind the four walls at our church where we go every Sunday. And certainly we happy to be back. This is a new year. We haven't been on the air in 2 weeks. And so we certainly miss talking to our listening audience. And we hope that you missed us also. So we happy to be back. In 2018, we thank God for allowing us to be back. So many started out in 17 and make it to 18, but we can walk, talk, hear, and we can see it, and we forever grateful and thankful to God. And certainly today we have a great show for you today. Topic gonna be, is there justice for all or for some people? And we certainly hope that this show would help someone, and that is the goal of Church Without Walls. We always remind our listening audience that you are the church, and that you are responsible to make life better for your neighbor and your friend. And life is what you make out of it. I always tell people, today is a new day, today is a great day. But it's all depending on what you make out of it. My name is Charles Stewart, your host, and co-host is Dr. Anthony Williams. And we have a studio guest with us today is Kiana Conway.
Kiana Calloway.
Kiana Calloway. And he is outreach youth minister for the NAACP. We're certainly so happy to have him sharing with us today. And if you would like to get in on the comment section, you can call 504-341-8255. We provide a topic, and you can come in on the comment section. So give us a call. Dr. Williams?
Well, today our subject is going to be criminal justice for all. And basically what we would like for you to do this morning is to call in area code 504-341-8255. Again, that number is 504-341-8255. We need your opinion. We need y'all to call in and voice your opinion. Tell us what you think about the show. Tell us what you think about the topic we're talking about. Tell us how you feel about what's going on in the community. That's what the show is designed for. Church Without Walls. We're trying to tear down those walls and get the message out to the people, because the worship doesn't start till you exit the doors of the church. We go into church to praise. So after we get through praising, we ought to be able to have enough energy to bring that word out to the people.
So much is going on in this country. Y'all know all the crazy stuff going on with the president, and this here is a distraction when you see all this going on. Our goal, Church Without Walls, is to get people to come together, and we need to start to organize and plan on for the future. That's why we have a great young man with us today, and we're going to talk about justice. This young man, he have one of the greatest testimony anyone we want to hear. I don't know if he want to share that with us today, but he is a young man that, according to the law, he shouldn't be sitting with us today.
Yeah.
And we thank God that we're here. We're going to let him come. We believe Church Without Walls. I'm not going to try to tell this story. I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell y'all who he are, what he doing in the community, and his goal and objective. And if he want to share his testimony, you got it, Doc.
Good morning. My name is Kiana Calloway. I'm a steward of Project Detour Mentoring, which was formulated in 2015 in the Jefferson Parish communities in Whitman. Project Detour is a mentoring organization geared to actually show our youth that incarceration is definitely real. We don't use scare tactics. We don't use scared straight tactics. You know, we use real testimonies. We use real people. We use real stories. We use real life to let them know that life is actually real, coming from the age where resources are limited. Our education is depleting to the standards of where we're not allowing our villages to raise our children anymore. We're letting charter schools come in and just take completely over our education. We're not teaching the kids morals and culturally awareness in our schools at this point. And Project Detour actually is a mentoring organization, only a mentoring organization that can help steer these youth, at-risk and high-risk youth, into a direction of where they can understand that originality is actually the key. You know, one thing I always say: if you can be yourself, I promise that the world will adapt to you. Honestly, me personally, my mission and my why for this work comes from me being that 16-year-old kid that had nobody to lead me in the right direction, and I ended up losing my life like that. Not forcefully, not willingly, but I was placed in a situation to where the powers were greater than man at that moment, or the powers that man created, the power that man had at that moment was greater than us. But in 1994, I was arrested for 2 counts of first-degree murder. In 1996, I was sentenced to 2 lives in prison. 1998, that case was remanded and set aside for a new trial. I come back down in 2000 to Jefferson Parish and was found guilty on manslaughter, which was kind of like a compromising verdict to the point where I guess I needed further rehabilitation. But God sits high and he looks low, you know, and allowing me to walk by faith and not by sight. It structured me to look at the realm from the outside of the box, like not actually being inside of the frame. So what I want to do is speak about, is there justice for some or is there justice for all?
Right.
Okay, me being on the outside of the box, I could look at where the wrongs were. Like, I can see where our cultural deficit has happened, to where our kids, our African-American youth are lacking the knowledge of how to respect their women, or how to balance a checkbook, or how to just be aspirations and a dream chaser. Like, we don't have that, you know, and when you've been to the bottom and like really scrape the surface of the bottom, and it gets to a point to where now God say, okay, son, now you have to make a change. You're gonna change for you, or you're gonna change for somebody else. You know, but perception is so strange these days. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
people, it's really strange these days to where people want to live up to what somebody else think of them. That's why when you say that getting people together to come into a coalition of great same like-minded individuals to make movement to the place where, yeah, we need to have our seat at the table.
Yeah.
We definitely need to have our seat at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that we can stop that is that we have to get that why out of our mindset. Like, why other people don't want to do this, or why this person don't want to do that, when we have to be that why. Like, I'm going to do it. I don't care what he think. Or if he feel or believe like I shouldn't be lobbying for sentences on armed robbery bills, like what we was doing for the Louisiana prison alternative in Baton Rouge Friday. You know, trying to get a Class A, B, C Act to the point where everybody can be under the same sentencing act. Guys shouldn't get sentenced to 10 years in court and end up in prison and get 40 years.
When we look at the criminal justice system, what's your opinion on how it's being enforced among black and white?
The system is structured. The system was actually black and white. Like, this is the system, black and white. So abiding by the papers, abiding by the letters that's on the paper is what is not the hard part. The hard part is the people that's enforcing these letters on paper. Because when we allow people to take advantage of a lot of different things, that's what put less fortunate people in the bondages. Because, like, we already know, just that one sentence in the bill, except punishment of a crime, when they say all frees were slave except the punishment of a crime, that
We know
allowed.
that they set up the criminal justice system on 3 levels. And that was the local level, the state level, and the federal level. So how does that affect us as individuals when we look at the ratio of Afro-American that's in jail and the ratio of white that's in jail, and those who didn't create violent crime? You know, how does the system work on a racial basis?
Well, we know the system is set up to pretty much extort African Americans. Like, it was placed to, like, the world after the Civil War, the South was actually built on the hands of black slaves. But they were no longer considered slaves, they was considered prisoners. Free slavery, free labor, free slavery. So by a little, just a small little synopsis of what I'm going through. Once they abolished slavery to the point where, okay, now we can't have different plantations, to the point where all these people working, you know, for free, or for the scraps off the table, or things of that nature. It's to the point now where, okay, now they're in prison, we need to start getting transportation from the north to the south. We need to start getting railroad tracks built. We need to start getting bridges built. We need to start getting dams dug. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the hierarchy is in the prison system become, because now they started locking up African Americans for little to no charges. If you're just standing on the corner, bam, you're going to jail, you end up with a 5-year sentence. But
On a local level.
You end up with a 5-year sentence, but your 5-year sentence is just you begin this railroad track in Mississippi, and you stop it in Wyoming.
So you got free labor.
Exactly. So now it comes to the point to where it didn't just, the system has overwhelmed itself, because if we can go back to the numbers, we can start from like the early 80s when they had like maybe
70s and the 80s.
Exactly, 70s and the 80s when they had like maybe 3,000, 4,000, like 2,000, 3,000 people just in the Louisiana State Penitentiary alone. But then when you jump to the 90s, the late 80s and the early 90s, now you got 7,000 people, 5,000 people. You have 8,000 people just in the local jails, Orleans Parish.
But when you take a close look at what's actually happening with the criminal justice system, you can actually see, whereas it just if you were to put a person in citizen arrest, that means that they would be not incarcerated in a prison, but they would be in the community.
Home incarceration.
So that you can home incarceration, you can put them on parole or what have you. It would cost them somewhere in the area of $1,000 just to be on parole, you know. But it would cost them $30,000 to be incarcerated in housing, because you got different agencies that come into play that have to be paid. You got the judges, you got the DA, the district attorney, and all these people. So you're talking about putting a person in confinement and spending $30,000 on them, when you could take that same $30,000 and give them some rehabilitation and some training, and they could come out a better person than they did when they went in.
Rehabilitation, that's a major key.
Gentlemen,
also.
it's time for us to take our first break. And we're going to be back with our very special guest, Mr. Galloway. And you are listening to Church Without Walls on the New Orleans Talk Network, your community station. Get in on the conversation, 504-341-8255. And remember, church, it's time for us to make a change and come together. Remember, we're the only one that can do it. We'll be back.
Seems like everyone is running from the truth. We just stand up and fight, walk into the light. We're the people, we can do it if we try.
Y'all know me, this is people person here.
Big homie head.
It's your boy Fred.
This man, big fan.
Right. Listen, we're your host of the New Orleans Talk Network's Fan View. Real fans talk, real sports. Check us out every Thursday night, 6 p.m.
We're back. Talk What You Know returns on Wednesday mornings at 8 a.m. We got a brand new co-host by the name of Bob B. And hey, that's me. Also, we got some new features. We're going to be giving away, have a weekly raffle of prizes. There are multiple ways for you to win, and there's a bevy of prizes. So we need you to come on back, join us on Wednesday mornings at 8 o'clock for Talk What You Know on the New Orleans Talk Network.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
What's up, readers and shakers? It's your girl, Rhonda M. Lawson, sending you a personal invite to the Literary Lounge. Tune in to Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the best in literary conversation. Each week, a different author will join us to talk to their most important readers, you. You can also call in to ask your own questions. So don't forget, each Wednesday at 7 p.m., join us in the lounge for Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. See you there.
Time to make that change, listen, audience. You are the only one that can do it. We the people who can do it. If we love ourselves, love God, and love our community, we can do anything. Our special guest is Mr. Galloway this morning, the youth advisor for the NAACP, and he is giving us some very, very
Pertinent information.
prestigious information that he's given us. A young man, well-rounded, and I'm so proud to have him in the studio this morning to share this. And this is what Church Without Walls, we try to provide information for you that's something that you need going to help. And we don't tell you what you want to hear, but we try to tell you what we believe you need to know, and this would help you in life. And you can get in on this conversation, area code 504-341-8255. You also, we're on Facebook and Instagram, so you not only can listen to it, you can see us on Facebook. So again, back to the conversation that we was having about, and is it justice for all, or is it unfair justice? And what I wanted to do is ask for, and I wanted to ask this earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt on Dr. William the point that he had made. Is justice, is that a business? Is when we say justice for all, because, and what made me asking our special guest this question is, I had noticed that in the on a report that they had that if you build a prison, say if Dr. Williams decide he wanted to build a prison in the state of Louisiana, and I don't know about other states, that the federal government would guarantee him that it would be occupied by 80%. I want to know, is that true?
Well, from the studies that I've kind of looked into, they dig into the most impoverished communities, into the school system, and they rate like the reading scores of maybe a 5th grader or 4th grader or 3rd grader, if I can recall. And the level of students that don't pass the reading requirements, they kind of like,
Give them a percentage.
yeah, they kind of like give them a percentage of how to fraction their prison cells.
I think what really happens with the correctional system is that they look into the community and find out, look and see how many people are actually incarcerated in that area. And then they take a ratio of that to project whether they should build a prison and will they be able to house these many prisons. And you could say, like, if, say for instance, if they build a prison that would have 800 prisons incorporated, that prison would be guaranteed, you multiply 30,000 times 800, that's 3 times 8, that's $2.4 million that they would be, putting toward that prison. And so they know that that prison is going to be funded because the money have to come up, be there every year to fund that prison. So the next thing they have to do is make sure that they have enough prisons in there so that that prison can be funded and the money will be allotted there. So when we look at those things and we look at the amount of people that's being incarcerated in there, and you look at the percentage of the people that's being incarcerated, which is mainly Black American, Mexicans,
Latinos.
and some whites, and they call them poor white trash is what they put them as. They're incarcerated, so you're going to have a small fraction of white, a medium section of Mexican, a large section of Black American. And in another area to look at it is what's actually being, it's a means of slavery being crossed over to another estate. Because you still got the chains on, you still got the bars on, you can't go nowhere, you can't do what you want to do, and once you're in prison, you can't even vote.
And once you come out of prison,
you can't vote. You see? So you got, I'm still in slavery. I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. So the people that goes into prison, if there's not a rehabilitation program to make them better, if there's not a system set in place to give them better education, then that person is stagnated. So he says, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do what I know how to do.
Get it off the field.
Yeah.
Live off the land.
But also, when we talk about unfair justice and justice for all, and people used to laugh at me a lot when I say that. I went to court, I think, twice in New Orleans and Tulane and Broad, and I was amazed. The first time I walked in there, I went into traffic court, and out all the courthouse was packed with people. I mean, wall to wall. And I think I'd seen about maybe 4 or 5 Caucasians, and the rest was African American. I'm wondering, I say, in New Orleans, I say, white people must don't drive in New Orleans, And it was amazing to me. And then, when you say unfair justice, and I just couldn't believe. So, what is your take on that? Why our rate is so high? Because I know you got many white people that drive, more white people drive in New Orleans. I would believe, I don't live in New Orleans, but I want to believe that drive more than African Americans. So why the courthouse fill up with African Americans?
The system, I'm going to keep saying the system because, that's what it is. That's what we all in. Bring it all the way back to when our first baby is born. When we sign that name over on that Social Security code and that birth certificate, we are implementing our child into the system. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. So once you get that number, those red numbers, it should be 6 numbers in the alphabet on the back of your Social Security number. Once you get that number, then you're okay. You are definitely implemented. So you are classified as a white or black. So here now this is what we're gonna do on this point. I'm a victim of the system. I spent 17 years, what I just told about how I went to prison and spent those years in prison, I did that for something that I did not do. I did not commit those crimes.
Okay.
I wasn't a choir boy, but I wasn't murdering and robbing and raping and stealing. I wasn't doing that.
Okay.
So when you speak about is there justice for all, some, or is there justice for all? There's justice for who they want justice to be for.
I can agree with that.
Actually, I went to traffic court, and every time I walk into the courtroom, I have a shirt that I actually spray painted on myself, guilty till proven innocent. After 25, almost 28 years of me dealing with the system, I'm still being heavily criticized and scrutinized, but behind something that I spent half of my life in prison for something I didn't do. It's hard for me to get housing. I can't get an apartment in a regular apartment complex, so I have to live under someone else's name. It was hard for me to get a job. I can't travel. I can't go out of the country. I have to get in contact with my parole officer. I have to take random drug screens. I have to go have random checkups. And honestly, when you come out of prison, your rehabilitation should be helping you adapt into society. I had no one help me adapt into society. I went in prison at 16. I come home at 34. Inside of the institution, my education was wide range because I was ambitious. I knew that, I'm sentenced to 2 lives in prison, but you know, my God gonna bust these doors open for me. He gonna spit me out like Jonah. You know, I'm gonna be spit out the belly of the whale like Jonathan. And so it's to the point that once I get home, I have to be prepared. So all of my preparations, once I got into the free world, they were limitless. They was useless. Fiber optic cabling degree, welding degree, small engine repairs degree, AC&R certificates. When I come home, none of that is valid out here. Like literally, none of that is valid out here. Okay. So, rehabilitation, is the system for one or is the system for all? Keanu Calloway, 16-year-old black boy, he gets accused of a murder. He gets accused of a murder. He gets stashed away from his family, thrown in prison in Jefferson Parish. Snatched away from his prison, tried, convicted, and sent to prison. Okay, here we go a few years later. The guy, a white guy, and I'm just using these 2 cases, like the white guy, he killed a man in the middle of the street. And he goes home for further investigation. So is the system for one or is the system for who they want the system to be for?
Okay.
And then our sheriff,
that's a good example.
A great analogy. And then our sheriff at that particular time, he stands up and say, you people should be ashamed of yourself. You people should be ashamed of yourself. You people should not talk about this guy, substantiable, and you don't know anything about this guy is that he's a black man standing on the stage because you needed to add color up here. You didn't let him get up there and speak about his community or what's going on with him, but you got out there and you slander. You people. So let's talk about the system. Let's put the system in order. We need to start holding people accountable for these lies that they tell us. We need to start getting these people that sitting in positions that has the power to start making change in our community. We need to get these people to start making these changes in our community. We don't need to give y'all these $75,000 to sit in the center, but when somebody want to come up there and do something in the center, you have a line dancing class, or you have a bingo class, or you have something that's not influential to the growth of my community. I lost my entire life. The beginning of my life, I kind of like was a transformation building stage. I say I lost it because I can't get it back, and I'm not trying to chase it back. Only thing I'm trying to do now is make these next 17 the best. I want to live the best. I don't want to look over my shoulder. I don't want anybody to have any wrong thing to say about me. Since I've been home, I've been walking by faith and not by sight, and I do it tremendously.
So what advice could you give to the youth of today to reestablish themselves after they come out of prison?
You have to have a support system when you're coming out of prison. And the support system doesn't have to be your mom, or it doesn't have to be your girlfriend or
now,
your
based on what you're
boyfriend.
saying about that support system, we know that when a young person come out of prison, they give him a parole officer. But the parole officer is not functioning, to me, the way they should be functioning, because When that individual come out of prison, he's supposed to have been rehabilitated. That parole officer should be trying to get him reestablished in society, in the community. But the parole officer is not doing that. They come out and visit you. They want to do a urine check or something but they're not really giving. So they're not giving. They're not really helping the individual. So the criminal justice system, even though it's put in place, is not a functionable organization.
We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back. We're going to continue with our special guest. We're going to talk about more about what he's doing with the last half of the show. We're going to talk about more about your organization, what your organization do, and what it's doing to help young people. We think that's very, very important. So if you want to get in on this conversation, 504-341-8255. Give us a call. Remember, you the only one can do it. You are listening to Church Without Walls.
Join in on Mondays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. for Breaking the Silence with Dr. Patricia Fry. There are no limitations or boundaries. We talk about life, and guess what? That includes you. So download the app today, New Orleans Talk Network, and subscribe on YouTube. That's every Monday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. New Orleans Talk Network, Breaking the Silence with Dr. Patricia Fry.
Our listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255. The New Orleans Talk Network.
Merry Mondays. It's your girl, Mary J. I want you to tune in with me to Real Talk with Mary J on New Orleans Talk Network every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Then follow me to blogtalkradio.com/Real Talk with Mary J at 10 p.m. It's going to be a Merry Monday every Monday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. You've just tuned in to New Orleans Talk Network.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on a golf course that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
Hello, this is Dr. Glenda E. Williams.
This is Charles Stewart.
Dr. Anthony Williams.
And I want to encourage you to join Church Without Walls every Monday morning from 11 a.m. to 12 noon.
And we want to encourage you to promote God's plan and not man's plan.
Don't you dare miss it.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
We are back. You are listening to Church Without Walls. Dr. Anthony Williams and Charles Stewart. Our studio guest is Mr. Calloway, Outreach director for the NAACP. We're so happy to have him as our studio guest. Our topic today we have been talking about, is there justice for all or justice for some people? And certainly from the conversation so far, is my evaluation so far is justice for some people. And we ask you to get in on the conversation, 504-341-8255. I know somebody out there been treated unfairly. Let's talk about it. Maybe we can help you. So back to our guest. He has done a lot in the community, and he have an organization that he is reaching out to young people. And certainly we wanted to devote this last half an hour into letting our listening audience let people know exactly what he's doing, and I'm more sure a lot of y'all out there need his help. So Doc, tell us about your organization.
First, Project Detour. Project Detour is a mentoring organization. Project Detour is not like any ordinary mentoring organization. What we do over at Project Detour is that we allow our youth to actually see their future before they get there. If they continue to make the wrong choices, this is what's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's either prison or death. And we're trying to, Project Detour stands on three major pillars, which is slow down, prepare to stop, and change lanes. We need every adolescent to actually critically think through situations before they approach them, before they make that final decision, because our life can be snatched away from us so fast. Our life can be taken away from us in a drop of a tear, of an hourglass, of anything. It's just like to make, like, if you want to deal with sports, you're gonna go to a sports analyst. If you want to deal with a piano, you're gonna deal with a pianist. You know, if you want to deal with anything dealing with life, you're going to deal with people that's actually been affected by life.
Yeah.
You know, and being as though I've been in a situation to where I was helpless. You know, I had no one to call on. I had to find my rescue into my higher power and really believe that my higher power was going to make this come through. You know, and I'm a firm believer that, you know, prayers do work. Mm-hmm. Prayers really, really, really do work. Yeah. You know, and in the process of that, since not only is Project Detour an avenue to kind of like guide these guys in the right place, I also deal with Roots of Renewal NOLA, which is a reentry program that gears guys 18 to 26 years old into the right path. Roots of Renewal purchased blight properties in New Orleans, and they remodeled them and put them back on the market for low to middle income single families. In the process of the guys being enrolled in Roots, they received their TWIC cards, they received their OSHA certifications, they received constructor certifications. It's a lot of different things that we have to get y'all skilled for, because in a minute, they no longer gonna have that box at the bottom of the application, have you ever been convicted of a felony? Because that has been banned.
Okay.
You know, we're just in the process of trying to get it to the more corporational levels to where, but that's actually been banned. So you have to be skilled when you go on these people's job sites if that's what you want to do.
Right.
Also, we vote, Voices of the Experience. It's another organization that I'm dealing with. We have a lawsuit on the state of Louisiana dealing with formerly incarcerated individuals not having their rights to vote. So as of right now, it's a lawsuit that kind of consists of about 90,000 people in the moment that we're dealing with. We do a lot of outreach with that as far as getting mails, getting letters and information into the system so we can get those guys that's in the system to kind of like umbrella that out to their family, and their family could get back in touch with us, and we could start putting things in motion to kind of like decarcerate. Because incarceration is a major, major, major hindrance in New Orleans and Jefferson Parish, actually in Louisiana, period. You know, the state of Louisiana have over $700 million budgeted that come down to the city. And 10% of that is placed, over $70 million is just strictly placed to the Department of Corrections, and that's not right. You know,
Where that go in salary and all that?
yes, it goes into salary. It goes into
big credit bills.
Yeah, because the community is the upkeep. The community, the taxpayers, is what's actually paying a lot of the local deputies. We pay these salaries. You know.
Well, you know, when you think about it, incarceration is not just in jail; it's out jail.
It's a business.
So it have become a business. That's exactly right.
It is
So
a business.
the people who are in power are making money off of the system for when they send the money down through us. We don't get it. You know, there's no money set aside for educational or something like that. You know, and that's something, the thing that you know, people in power. You got people in power who don't implement those things. You know, so we in other words, we have to be careful about the people that we're putting in office.
That's what I mean by holding them accountable.
Holding accountable.
We need to start holding these officials accountable for the things that they say to get in office and not doing it once they get in there.
That's exactly right.
You know, and the thing about it is, we have to understand that our elected officials right now, majority of these guys grew up in the same neighborhoods we grew up in. You know what I'm saying? So you know where we're hurting at. You know where the deficits are lying at, but you're not doing it because it's not putting revenue into your
pocket.
Yeah, it's not revolutionizing your pockets. And the thing about it is, you will stop something. You will put a halt to something that has momentum to put something else in place because you have say so.
Well, it is a continuation of what's already is, but in a different perspective.
You have control over it. You have say so over it. You know, not to just throw anybody out there, but I'm in the process of trying to get my peer support groups back. And they want me to sign a Jeff Cap. I don't want to be a part of Jeff Cap.
Okay.
You know?
And that way, if you be a part of Jeff Cap,
you have say so.
You handicapped.
You have say so.
You come under a regime, so you got to do whatever Jeff Cap says.
You have say so.
Yeah.
You have say so. So, you know, and then another thing, systematic racism has come so far now that it's not just whites and blacks hating racism against each other. It's blacks and blacks racism against each other.
Well, brother, I got news for you. It always have been like that.
But I only been home 7 years.
You know?
You see where I'm coming from? My life started.
Been like
my life started in April 11, 2011. I walked from out of the Foundation House in Monroe, Louisiana, after spending 17 years and 6 months in prison. I come home, I didn't know nothing. I didn't know what a phone looked like. I didn't know what a laptop looked like. I'm still computer illiterate. Look, I write everything down. Everything. I'm old school. I'm not never, you know, I write everything down. And it's to the point to when I did come out here, it's like, who can I trust? Who can I confide in? Who can I lay my deepest ambitions with? You know what I'm saying? Because it's to the point like, nah, man, like.
Look, tell us about the program that you have and how it would help youths to get themselves out of the situation that they're in.
Like, I'm gonna tell you, perception. Perception. Our youth, they want to be what they see.
Okay.
You know, like if they sit down, if they be in their phones all day, they want to be this Kodak Black. They want to be this Young Jeezy. They want to be this Lil Wayne. They want to be this Leonard Fournette. They want to be this Kamari. They want to be these guys because that's pretty much all that they have to look up for. So when they see the other side of the street, the guys that hang on the corner that's selling drugs, and the guys that's robbing, and the guys that's packing the guns, and the guys that's smoking weed and shooting heroin in the car, they see this because this is their real life TV. This is my entertainment. This is what I see on a daily basis. So what I do is, I'm only a steward of Project D2. I'm learning every day. You know, even though that is a vision that God bestowed inside of me to come home and really use my life to channel and kind of deter these guys' energy, is that when we get into this one particular building and I have all of these people that they look up to and want to see, and I have them in there and I tell them, and they sit down and tell them that my life wasn't easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, my life was never easy for me to be in the NFL running for 1,700 yards a season. You got to understand what I had to do 5 years ago when I was on the corner of Durgin Wall and Claiborne, you know what I'm saying, trying to get shoes to put on my feet to go to school.
So how do we get these guys to transition from this microwave lifestyle that we have?
It's the thinking.
Yeah. So that, in other words, it's a mind thing.
Yeah, it's the thinking.
Okay, so we got to find a way.
Hey, you know, like what he's saying, so real. It's when you say what the young men see and what they hear, they emulate it. You know, like sometimes, like I know one day, been about 2 months ago. It's pretty, man, it was so hot outside. I ain't want to come out of my house because it was so hot, but I had to go to the dollar store to get some shaving powder. Man, I go in the dollar store, and it's like, to me, damn near 100 degrees. Here these 3 young boys coming in with hoods over their head. You know what I'm saying? What you doing with a hoodie on? Hot as it is, but, you know, as you say, they emulate, they see, and I see one of the worst things I think that happened in the NBA basketball, and I love me some basketball. I see Nike making the warm-up suits and with the hoods on them, man. It's like you're in a gym, where they keep it 72 degrees, whatever. And they walking around like LeBron James, not LeBron James. I never seen the hoodie on, but this other guy that used to play, Carmelo Anthony, with hoods over the head. I'm saying, James Harden.
James Harden, yeah.
Got hoodies on. These young kids see that.
They
want to be that, man. They can be 100 degrees outside, and they got hoodies on because they don't know nothing to do. They about to suffocate.
They gonna do it.
Trying to emulate someone else.
Well, one of the biggest problems that we have with youth today is that what they don't want to do is they don't want to burn that night oil to get what they want. And so what they do is they're looking for a fast way to get it. And so that fast way is looking at those people on the street corner, and they've got a roll of money in their pocket, and all that's out there just for show.
Well, look, we all got about 5 minutes left in the show. You want to tell people they want to be part of your organization?
Yes.
How can they contact you? Give them some information on you.
You can contact me personally, Kiana Calloway, Executive Director of Project Detour, at project.detour17@gmail.com. project.detour17@gmail.com. That is my email. The website is www.projectdetour.org. www.projectdetour.org. Also, if anybody that's formerly incarcerated, 18 to 26, that just came home, you guys can look at rootsofrenewal.org. If you're looking for, if you guys are interested.
Say that again.
Rootsofrenewal.org. Anybody that's formerly incarcerated, 18 to 26 years of age, rootsofrenewal.org. If you're interested in construction, if you're interested in remanding homes, give me a call, man. We will get you on track so we can start bettering your future. Kind of put some pep in your step. That's about it. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure for me to come sit with these intelligent individuals and pastors and stewards of God. I love it. Hope to come back real soon, man. Give some more updates and catch-ups.
We would love to have you back. To me, there's some good stuff. That's what our community need to hear. And we need more of this. And I see on any of your television, they always show the bad stuff that happened in the community, but they don't never show good stuff like this. A young man been incarcerated, got out, and he not only improved his life, but he used his experience to want to help other young men. And prevention is one of the greatest things that I think could happen. And you're a prime example.
Appreciate it.
And we really appreciate you coming on. We want to have you back, man, because this is what the people need to, this is what the people need to hear. I'm going to go on record saying, we ain't telling you nothing about, we don't want to talk about no Donald Trump no more. We want to talk about what we need to do to better our community and life. Donald Trump and them going to do what they need to do, regardless what we say and want to do. But if we put together a plan on what we need to do and how to bring our community together, show these young kids. And one thing you said earlier that I really loved it that you said, that you want to put a picture to these young kids. You want to show them where they're going to be in the future if they go down the wrong track. They either going to be in jail or dead. With that, Dr. William, you have a closing statement? We got a few seconds.
Only thing I would like to tell them is that we need you guys to call into the show and express how you feel about some of the topics that we're talking about. That's important to you in the community. You out there, you've experienced some things. Call in and let us know. Talk to us about what's going on in you and how we can get to do things better.
Again, we'd like to thank our special guest for coming on. And we definitely going to have him back. I look to working with him in the community and this thing that he's trying to do, because I love what he's doing. And they got many, many people out there that watch us, listen to us, and I appreciate your text and what you said, but we need you to get involved with us. Let us know how you feel. And if you want to write a little letter or something, I read it on the app. You can mail it to P.O. Box 942 West Wego, Louisiana, zip 796. Church address it to Church Without Walls. Again, we love y'all. We love you and love you, love you. And thanks to our guests. And we hope that you help us tear down on walls, as Dr. Williams said, that's staying your way. We want to tear them down. Remember, you are the church. God love you, and so do us. And always we end the show by saying, it's no such thing as being half dead. If you're dead, you're dead.
Yo, Mom, keep it for me one more time.